Hello, welcome to GP Podcast. So, let's talk about the dream, right? The incredible promise of using AI as your very own personal coding tutor. I mean, imagine a tutor who's infinitely patient, available literally 24/7, and has the potential to just completely supercharge the way you learn.
And the hype? Oh, it is real. All over the place. Developers are just buzzing with excitement. I mean, take a look at this quote from a Reddit user. It just perfectly captures this feeling that, wow, we can suddenly learn faster, build more, and finally get our heads around those super complex topics that always felt just a little out of reach. It feels like we finally have an expert sitting right next to us.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with that dream, but then we're going to navigate through some of the hidden dangers of this new tutor. From there, we'll unlock the expert's playbook for getting it right, learn how to become a Socratic coder, and wrap it all up with a personal roadmap that's tailored just for you.
All right, so let's shift gears from the dream to the slightly more complicated reality. This brings us to a huge topic, the dangers. You know, for all of its power, using an AI to learn to code has some legitimate risks. Developers are worried about AI hallucinations, where it just confidently makes stuff up, and the very real danger of picking up some terrible habits without even realizing it.
And this is what's so wild. It's a total paradox. On one hand, AI is maybe the best learning tool we've ever had. It's like this dynamic tutorial generator that can spin up custom examples for literally anything you want to learn. But on the other hand, it can be the absolute worst. It doesn't have that higher level reasoning. It can't step back and say, hey, that code works, but you're actually thinking about this problem in completely the wrong way.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. You have to remember, you are always leading the AI. It's not truly leading you. As this person points out, it will happily and confidently guide you right off a cliff. If you just grab the code because it works and you move on without really questioning it, you're building your skills on a really shaky foundation, a foundation of, terrible understanding. So the million-dollar question is, how do you avoid that cliff?
Well, the answer comes down to discipline. You see, the pros, the really experienced developers, they aren't just chucking prompts at an AI and hoping for the best. Nope, they use a structured, disciplined workflow to turn that dangerous guide into an unbelievably powerful partner. Let's open up their playbook.
This four-step workflow, which folks like Adi Osmani have talked about, is really the secret sauce. First, you plan with the AI. You hash out a detailed spec before you even think about writing code. Second, you break the job down into small, bite-sized pieces. Third, you feed it rich context. Give it the relevant code, the project's rules, the API docs, everything. And fourth, and this one is by far the most important, you always keep a human in the loop.
And all of this leads to a really crucial shift in your mindset. It's called AI-assisted engineering. The idea is you use AI aggressively. You push it, you leverage it for everything it's worth, but you always stay proudly accountable for the final product. You're the engineer. The AI is your tool. The quality control, the final sign-off, that's on you.
This quote from Simon Willison is the perfect way to think about that human-in-the-loop rule. You have to treat every single line of AI-generated code as if it came from an overconfident junior developer. You know the type? It looks plausible. It sounds confident. But is it right? Is it secure? Is it actually efficient? You have to read it, you have to run it, and you have to test it. No shortcuts.
Okay, so we've got the workflow down. That's the what. But what about the how? How do we actually talk to this overconfident partner of ours? Well, to do that, we have to go way beyond just basic prompting. We have to master the art of the dialogue. And believe it or not, the key lies in an ancient philosophical technique.
It's called elicit. It's a fancy Greek term for what's basically the Socratic method of cross-examination. It's a structured way of asking questions to poke holes in arguments, to find weaknesses and inconsistencies. And you know what? It's the perfect tool for challenging an AI that's programmed to sound absolutely certain, even when it's totally wrong.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you actually do this? I mean, how can you apply a 2,400-year-old philosophical method to a piece of cutting-edge technology? Well, it's actually way more practical than it sounds.
It really just comes down to a few simple techniques. First, check for consistency. Ask the same thing but in a different way. A really solid answer shouldn't change that much. Second, make it show its work. Ask for its sources, and then ask it how credible those sources are. Third, and this one is huge, force it to think about other options. Don't just accept the first thing it spits out. Ask it, what are the downsides to this approach? Or even better, is there a more efficient or modern way to write this function? When you challenge it to defend its own logic, you go from being a passive user to an active interrogator. So now that we have the expert workflow and the dialogue techniques, let's bring it all home and make it personal. We're going to lay out a really clear roadmap with some simple next steps based on where you are right now in your own coding journey.
The most important thing here is to start where you are. So, if you're an absolute beginner, your main focus should be learning the core programming fundamentals without AI. You really need that solid foundation first. If you're already familiar with code, go ahead and start playing with tools like GitHub Copilot on simple stuff. Focus on writing clear, effective prompts. For you experienced devs out there, it's time to dive into more advanced tools like Cursor IDE and really focus on mastering prompt engineering and rock-solid code review. And for data professionals, AI is great for small scripts and documentation, but make sure you're balancing that with your own independent coding to keep those skills sharp. So let's just end with this one thought. The AI is here. It's your new paraprogrammer. It's incredibly powerful, it's unbelievably fast, and yeah, sometimes it's just plain wrong. The real question isn't if you're going to work with it, but how. This whole playbook, the planning, the testing, the cross-examination, it's all about one thing: making sure that you are the one leading the session.
Hey, if you found this helpful, do us a favor and subscribe, leave a like, and share it with someone who might need it. And let us know in the comments what you found most useful. Thanks for watching.